Good evening from Galactic Public Radio and NC. I'm Spencer McDunn, and these are the top headlines from around the known galaxy. A massive wave of terrorist attacks has crippled starports across the bubble. For the latest, we go to Smooth Furnace in the Sol system.
Thanks, Spencer. A string of attacks made with caustic bombs has crippled 9 major starports throughout known space. The Neo-Marlinist Liberation Army has already claimed responsibility via propaganda broadcast. Quote, "The Alliance and Federation's rulers have revealed themselves as imperialist supporters of the Duval dynasty, which has crushed our ideals for 1,000 years. Peoples of the galaxy, you can change this. We give you your own 9 martyrs. Use them to retake control and regain your power." End quote. The 9 martyrs are a group of NMLA terror suspects who died in Federation custody as a result of an attack on Kepler Station, most likely carried out by the NMLA itself. The recent attack was particularly damaging to the Federation, with Vice President Brad Mitchell killed along with a number of cabinet-level officials. President Zachary Hudson called the bombing, quote, "a declaration of war," end quote, but no one is certain who Hudson thinks made the declaration. Anonymous officials have told GPR that Hudson has been complaining about the lack of Imperial success in stomping out the terrorist group, and therefore they are worried that the attack might be blamed on the Empire itself. One thing is certain, the galaxy will not be the same after this attack. From the Sol System, for Galactic Public Radio, I'm Smooth Furnace.
Thanks, Smooth. One immediate impact from the terrorist attack was the cancellation of the Galactic Summit. Delegates and staff were rushed away from the Patterson Station in the Sirius system upon security concerns that it would be the next target. While the summit was on rocky ground after the arrival of Archon Delane of the Kumo Crew Pirate Syndicate, most commentators believe a comprehensive agreement on fighting the Thargoids was close at hand. Unfortunately, that effort appears to have stalled indefinitely, pending the resolution of this new crisis. Finally, in local news, Guard Frequency Response Deputy Assistant Director Richard Clemens released the first public service announcement regarding worker safety that was produced with the assistance of Dharma Mining Company. As part of its commitment to community service, Galactic Public Radio will play that now.
Welcome to this safety presentation on natural disaster response brought to you by the Dharma Mining Company in cooperation with Guard Frequency Response of the Anseath system. Dharma Mining Company operates mines, refineries, and freight terminals throughout the Deep Black. Naturally, all kinds of natural hazards threaten those facilities each and every day. As you know, any threat to Dharma's facilities is a direct and immediate threat to Dharma's profits, and also possibly worker safety. In some cases. Maybe. It is the sacred obligation of all Dharma workers to do everything in their power to prevent threats to Dharma's bottom line, and also to try to protect themselves, subject to appropriate guidelines. To learn how you can do your part to help Dharma Mining Company shareholders preserve their hard-earned investment dividends, let's talk to Mr. Foreman in the Disaster Response Room.
Good day, workers. So there you are, executing your daily prescribed tasks as a contractual labor provisioner at one of the company's fully compliant and natural disaster-resistant facilities. But then, the unthinkable happens. Your facility is hit with a once-in-a-lifetime, completely unexpected act of God, or the equivalent term in your jurisdiction for unforeseeable event for which the company is not liable. You're not sure of the cause, but the effects are clear. The power is out, and the temperature is dropping rapidly, because you're in space, and it's very cold in space. Let's talk to worker B445 to see how he responds to just such an emergency.
Hello, Mr. Foreman. The company has trapped me in this abandoned asteroid mine to practice disaster response procedures. In the event of catastrophic loss of power due in no part to the company's negligence or incompetence, my first priority is to clock out of the contractor's universally negotiated timekeeping system or...
Dharma Mining Company has terminated the subcontractor who operated the timekeeping system referred to by worker B445 for failure to screen its acronym for workplace appropriateness.
but I may not be able to clock out due to the catastrophic loss of power. If that is the case, I will locate the nearest emergency manual backup timekeeping system located every 10 meters along the hallway of all of Dharma Mining Company facilities. I will then fill out the manual form in triplicate and proceed to the central Human Resources Dropbox to deliver it.
Right you are, Worker B445. Mike?
My name is Mitch, Mr. Foreman.
Of course, Mark. Tell us what you should do on the way to the Human Resources Dropbox.
Oh yes, Mr. Foreman. I have two important jobs on the way to the Dropbox. First, I should be sure to disconnect all power spike sensitive equipment on the way. It would be terrible if the power should suddenly be restored and all the expensive equipment get knocked out of calibration. Think of all the lost hours of productivity wasted by recalibration.
That's right, Mac. You've got to unplug everything that might overload, spark, discharge, or otherwise cost time or money to restart. And you've got to do it before frostbite sets in.
Now that you mention it, Mr. Foreman, my toes are getting numb.
Well, there's no time to lose, Matt. Get on going.
That's right. Each worker only has a few minutes to secure all sensitive equipment and to get to the HR Dropbox to turn in your manual timesheet. After that, the equipment may be permanently damaged and the Dropbox will be sealed shut. And no worker wants to have a timesheet discrepancy in the middle of a natural disaster, do they, Mr. Foreman?
That's right, Mr. Announcer. Getting that timesheet to HR is a worker's top priority, with the disconnection of the sensitive equipment a close second. But hang on, Worker B445, you said you had another job to do on the way to the HR Dropbox. What was that? Marv?
It's Mitch, Mr. Foreman. And my other important job on the way to the Dropbox is to be on the lookout for other Dharma Mining Company employees who are trapped or disabled.
Oh, very good, Worker B445. And if you find a fellow worker, will you stop and render first aid and assistance?
Ha, ha, Mr. Foreman. I know that was a trick question. No, I will stop to collect their timekeeping form and take it with me to the HR Dropbox.
Very good, Murph. Each and every properly submitted manual timekeeping form will save the company up to 3.97 credits in additional correction and amendment costs to payroll databases. And that protects Dharma's bottom line and shareholder relations.
That's right, Mr. Foreman. And if there is sufficient time before the facility is permanently damaged, workers may take a moment to mark the location of their helpless colleagues on a map, which could be drawn on a discarded snack wrapper or TPS cover sheet. Any available emergency services will have an easier time finding them under the ice sheet formed when the internal plumbing freezes and bursts. Let's check back with worker B445 at the HR Dropbox.
Mr. Foreman, I've reached the Dropbox with my timesheet and 3 other simulated timesheets I discovered in the corridors. I have marked the locations of my simulated trapped co-workers on the inside of this discarded Space Twinkie wrapper. I will now open the Dropbox and... oh, no. What is that noise? Oh dear, it seems I cannot reach the Dropbox, and I'm slowly being submerged in freezing water.
Well, that's a shame, Worker B445. It seems that your scribbling on food wrappers is going to cause timesheet discrepancies on 4 workers' records, and cost the company almost 16 credits in processing fees. Not a good result, Melvin.
It's Mitch, Mr. Foreman. And yes, I suspect the company will deduct those credits from my next paycheck, per company policy. It also appears I might drown or succumb to hypothermia.
Oh no, Worker B445. This may mean that Dharma Mining Company could be liable for your death or injury, due to the fact that you have not yet officially clocked out. But don't worry, Morty. Our crack team of rescue and recovery personnel will chip those forms out of the ice and backdate any changes so that the company will be free and clear of responsibility for your death or injury.
That's right, Mr. Foreman. Worker B445 made the wrong decision to waste time marking up snack wrappers. Remember, your first priority is to turn in those forms. However, by almost making it to the Dropbox, worker B445 did make it easier to recover those forms from the ice. Therefore, it is likely that Dharma would not deduct the costs of recovering the timesheets from his final paycheck. We want you to know the company has paid millions of credits to lawyers who wrote a letter. And that letter says Dharma Mining Company has done the minimum required by law to ensure your safety in the event of a natural disaster. And it's your job to make sure the company got its money worth from those lawyers. Thank you for viewing this Dharma Mining Company safety presentation on natural disaster response. Remember, Dharma Mining Company wants you to be safe and stay working. So be safe and stay working.
Until the next turn of the worlds, for Galactic Public Radio, I'm Spencer McDunn.